the issue you could have, and the issue I'm actually having, is some kind of wrong colors. And I'm actually happy that I got this image, because it's a great example of this kind of issue. It not always happen, but it's quite common. And as you can see, the hair over here, maybe I'm going to create a layer, so I'm going to make this more visible for you. Let's choose some color. And this hair, I thought they're going to look fine after I finish everything. However, I can see from the distance, when I look at the image, it doesn't look fine. It looks just as a shadow, as some kind of unwanted shadow. So this is something we have to struggle with, and we have to sort this out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new layer somewhere above here, and later I can place this everywhere actually. I'm going to call this as a color correction, just for now. And of course I could do this on the gray layer. If I could have it, I could create a curve layer and try to adjust the saturation. But the easiest method to do this, and you could actually look at all of the image and find such an areas that the color is not suitable, or you have some kind of shadow, and try to adjust the color for it. So I'm going to resolve this very easily. I'm going to put the flow at 3%, as before, between 1 or 3%, just to keep some control. Also, I'm going to get a color from this area, not too dark, not too bright, because from this area would be too dark, and this kind of natural skin color. And then softly I'm going to paint over this area. Of course, mode normal, which I'm painting right now, is not really perfect, but we're going to see how it is going to work for us. I'm going to change this for soft light and have a look how is it going to work. Maybe at first we're going to try with normal mode to see if we covering this in the right way. It won't be too strong, trust me. And okay, maybe at this point I can change this into soft light and have a look. It actually very softly changing into the right color. So that's a very simple method how you can sort out the wrong colors of the image. Of course, we have some work here. It's not so simple if you want to do this right. Seems I cannot change the size of the brush. Now I can. Okay, so of course it's going to take us just a bit of time if you want to do this right. Just make sure that you're going to cover all of these tiny shadows, similar as in local Dutch and Burn. But it's not so difficult because it's kind of big area, and usually we have bigger areas than micro transitions, so it won't be such a huge problem for you. Let me just cover all of this, because even though I could have a lot of time, I don't want to spend ages over here. It's actually getting a bit better. That's before, that's after, and it's getting a bit more natural color, a bit on this hair. Also, the issue I'm having, as you can see, there's no hair over here, so there's a lot of weird colors, and finally I decided it's not suitable. Okay, let's have a look from the distance, and it looks much better. Still, I need some of the color, even brightest color. So I'm going to get even brighter color than my previous one and paint with this one. So you can try few colors, find the suitable, and try to mix them to get really the effect you want, the really desired effect that you are looking for. We're pretty much done over here. You have to say it looks just amazing compared to what we had a few minutes ago. It's still not the same color as our skin, so we need to spend some time to adjust this really very nicely. I'm going to use even brighten color, I think, but before I'm going to do this, I'm going to try fantastic method of hue saturation and maybe selective color, as I was showing before. Right now it looks really great, you have to say. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hue saturation, and let's clip this, create clipping mask. You can see when we pull this up, it will be looking horrible. When we pull down some of the saturation, I need to have a look, but it might be a bit too strong. Yeah, it will be. I'm going to zoom this in a bit more to paint. And now I'm going to mix with this color, so color which is more natural for this area. It was of course wrong layer, so once again it's just a bit time-taking process, or not really, but I'm really trying to do some effort. In each part of it, and the best tool for it, except hue saturation, would be probably selective color. So I'm going to clip this once again, create clipping mask, and we can try with neutrals. It is catching the color, so we don't want this to be so red. Also not so green, so find the area that will be right for it, and after just a few very nice adjustments, you can find the point that it's working really great. With neutrals like that, I'm going to take just a bit of the black color, so it was still a bit too dark, so I'm going to brighten this up, and there is no specific color in this area, so that's why I'm using neutrals, but you could try with all of them. So I'm going to put this to the group because I don't want to mess up. Control Command G. I'm going to call this color corrections. And it looks really nice. I could use some of the dodge and burn a bit later to adjust a few other areas, because as you can see we got some troubles, like few areas should be a bit bright and still, few areas maybe could be a bit darker. We can resolve this on that layer and just have a look if the global is still covering. It is still covering, but you can press this everywhere you want. I think on the top level it's working the best. Still we have some of them shadow over here. Under the global layer it will be looking best, but still I have some of the area over here that needs some corrections. And that would be it. That looks really great now. We sorted out problem with the hair before, after. So that's how I do some additional color corrections for the Dutch and Burn if I need this.